Hey everybody, it's your girl Jazz. So we are back again for episodes 9 and 10, season 3 of Zatima. So let's go ahead and get into it. So it picks up where it left off at Belinda's house. And Jeremiah said, look, I'm not going out like this. Zac, you come at me, I'm coming back at you, guns blazing. So he got Belinda's gun and he started capping, right? And he shoots at Zac. And Zac, everybody was downstairs taking cover. And Nate, y'all, Angela and Nate was having me dying. Belinda was like, "Yeah, Nate, go upstairs and talk him down." Nate was like, "Tony, go talk him down." Tony was like, "I'm not going up there." Belinda was like, "You go up there and talk to him." Nate was like, "I'm not going up there." Angela was like, "Somebody go, somebody go talk to him. Somebody go talk to him." And Angela was like, "Somebody call the police." Call the police. And Belinda was like, "I already did." Nate said, "Wait, you called the you called the police? I gotta get out of here. Cause I ain't fooling with the feds." And Belinda was like, oh, you ain't no man. And so Zac was like, "I'm gonna go up there." And Fatima was like, if you going up there, I'm going up there. And so Zac was like, "No, Tony, Nate, get Fatima and take her outside." And Fatima was like, "No, don't nobody touch me. Don't nobody touch me. I don't want nobody to touch me." And Zac, if you going up there, I'm going up there. You in it, I'm in it. So you go up there, I'm going up there. And so he was like, "No, And he was like, here's the thing that had me baffled. Zac, you came over to Belinda's house with the intention on fighting him. You was like, this dude gonna have to see me. I can't believe he came at my wife. I'ma kill him. This was your MO all along. But now you're mad that he defended himself. You can't believe that your brother defended himself and shot at you? Huh? What? So Zac is like, I can't believe he shot at me. He took a shot at me. Zachary. Yes, your brother defended himself against you. What did you think that he was going to do, Zac? Just stand there and get beat up? Mr. Tyrone told you this, you idiot. Now, I'm not really calling Zac an idiot. I'm lying. Yes, I am. Mr. Tyrone said, what if he don't let you do that? What did you think, Zac? What did you think that your brother was gonna do? First of all, your brother a crackhead. Crackheads don't go there. And let me also say this. Okay? I'm from the hood, okay? Come on now. Your brother wasn't gonna go down there easily. He was either gonna fight back, which we found out later in the second episode, per Tony, per Nate, per Connie, this is what they do. They fight, and then they fight, and then they dap it off, and then they be back, and then they be back fine later. But Jeremiah being doped up on all these drugs shifted that. But Zac, what did you think was going to happen? You coming over there that pissed off. What you think was gonna happen, bro? Yes. So yes, Jeremiah Everybody had been telling Jeremiah, hey, Zac looking for you and he pissed off. So you need to get somewhere and hide. Yes, your strung out brother took cover and he grabbed the first thing he saw and was ready. He was ready too. He was ready just like you was ready. What did you think was gonna happen? And not only did he grab the first weapon he saw, he also he also grabbed Belinda's rent money and ducked out that window. Right, y'all. Y'all, I was talking to my homegirls. I was talking to my homegirls on the phone, right? Belinda was like, y'all, he stole my stuff. He stole my rent money. Nate, you better find Jeremiah and you better give my rent money back. Belinda, you want Nate. You want Nate. You want Nate to find a crackhead and get $1,500 back. Belinda, baby, you're dumber than I thought. In Fatima's voice, you're dumber than I ever thought. Ma'am, you're not getting that money back. Go ahead and call your landlord. Because here's the thing. You didn't pay the rent as soon as you got the money out the bank, baby. That's what I do. That's what I used to do when I had a landlord. As soon as you get the money out the bank, you pay the bill. Sweetheart, why would you have your rent money in the same vicinity as the crackhead? Oh, God. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. But that tripped me out. Because, Jeremiah is not going upstairs where I keep my stash. He gonna stay where I can see him. So, I'm sorry, Fatima, Zac, all of y'all. I am sorry. I know we're supposed to be hiding him. First of all, he's not coming in my house. I don't care what y'all say. But second of all, if he is going to stay in this house, he going to stay downstairs. He's not staying in no guest room because he's not a guest. He is staying downstairs. He's not going upstairs. He is staying downstairs. But Belinda talking about, Nate, you better find him and you better find my money. You find him and you find my money. No. Nate ain't gonna find that money. And if Nate do find that money, I'd hope that Nate go home to Lori with that money. Lori, baby. Lori, baby. I've been doing some thinking, and I've been thinking about you, and I've been thinking about the kids, and I've been thinking about us. Look, babe, I got some food, I got some money. Can I come home? Hey, Nate, bro, if you listening, you better if you find Jeremiah and you find that money, you had better get that $1,500 and you better go home to your wife. So anyway, so yeah, I hope Nate if he do find Jeremiah, first of all, if he do find Jeremiah, if Jeremiah go to the hood with if Jeremiah go back to the hood with $1,500, he probably gonna see Gladys. He gonna see Gladys with 15. Y'all know how much rock he gonna be able to get with $1,500. I'm sorry. Whew, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But yeah, child, baby, he gonna get a whole bunch of blue magic or whatever the name of the stuff is on Zatima. Whatever Jeremiah be buying. Blue magic, Zatima magic, I don't know, whatever he be getting in them projects, child, whatever it is he be getting, purple magic, purple stuff, I don't know, whatever he be getting, purple hook, I don't know what it's called now. Whatever, he gonna get a whole bunch of it for $1,500. He gonna buy it all for $1,500, baby. Nate is not gonna get that money back. He You ain't getting that money back. Belinda can hang that up. She better call her landlord and and ask her landlord, can she pay on the 15th? She better do something. She better do something. She better call one of her other means. She better do something else because she not getting that money. She is not getting that money back at all. She not getting that money. But anyway, so back I wanted to laugh about that because that was funny. Me and my homegirls laughed about that for a good 20 minutes. We laughed about that a good 20 minutes yesterday, and it was super refreshing. Let's see what else happened in that scene. Zac was like, Fatima, where's your gun? She was like, I don't have it. I'm trying to change. I find it very ironic that she was like, I'm trying to change. And then, you know what? I'm going to get there. And so anyway, that scene happened at the house. And then fast forward to Rise Ventures. Okay. Preston and Bryce, they were going over the contracts. And Zac pulls up. Zac is still being real salty to Bryce, but he was like, look, I hate what happened to you, but you still on thin ice with me, right? And he was like, I want to talk to Preston. So he basically kicked Bryce out. And he told Bryce he told Preston what happened. He told Preston what happened. He was like, man, my brother basically hit Fatima over some money. And then when I had went to confront him about it, he took a shot at me. He shot me. He like tried to shoot me or whatever. And Preston was like, look, let's take a minute. One thing I like about Preston is Preston will hear you out. And I think that Preston is a really good friend for Zac. He's that type of friend, you feel how you want to feel, but let's be diplomatic about it, right? So he was like, look, we're men, feel how you want to feel, but let's go have a couple of drinks, let's get your feelings and stuff out, and let's, talk about it, right? And so Zac was like, okay, cool, right? So let's go to the bar, okay? So as Preston was walking out, Bryce was like, I overheard everything. And so Preston was looking at him like, dude, what you on, right? But he was like, well, don't let him know that you overheard everything. And he was like, well, here's a number to his therapist. Don't tell him that I gave it to you. And so then Bryce left. So then it goes to them at the bar. And so Preston was like, not Preston, I'm sorry. Zac was like, so yeah, that's everything that happened. Preston was like, look, man, I hate that all of that happened, but you still need to take a minute and think about everything that you have to lose. And so in walks Dr. Reed. And he was like, yo, man, you call him? He was like, yeah, look, I got his number from Bryce. He was like, I figured you might need to talk to him. And so Preston left. He was like, look, the drinks are on me. I'm going to go ahead and leave. And so Dr. Reed sits down. This honestly actually was one of my favorite scenes because, first of all, it showed that Dr. Reed, it showed a therapy session outside of a therapist's office, if you will. It also made Zac more open, and it showed two grown men having a conversation. Okay. And it also showed Dr. Reed being more in his element and outside of his element at the same time, if that makes sense. So I like seeing it. I like seeing it, and it promoted black men talking about mental health. So I liked it. I like that scene. So Dr. Reed, Dr. Reed was being, Dr. Reed had to be Dr. Reed, right? And he was like, look, he was like, look, I want you to think about everything that you've been through. And I want you to think about the fact that you've overcome it, which is the truth. Zach has been through a whole lot of stuff, and he has overcame it. And he was just like, think about everything that you've been through, and the fact that you've overcame it. And you have more to lose than he does. And if you go down this road because of your brother, you won't be able to come back from it. And he was like, your feelings are valid. And I appreciate, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I appreciated him saying that to Zach, because first of all, that's something I say to my kids all the time. I always tell my kids how their feelings are valid. I love the fact that Dr. Reed validated Zach. And I was like, oh, that's something I do with my kids all the time. I was like, I love that. So he was like, your feelings are valid. He was like, and Zach, Zach was like, I can't just let this go. Zach's whole thing is he went after my wife. Me not doing nothing would be me looking weak, because he went after my wife. How do I just sit back and just let that go? Which I do understand that. But before I get back into that scene, I do want to say something. Zach had three sane conversations with three sane people. He had the conversation with Mr. Tyrone. He had a conversation with Preston, and then he had a conversation with his therapist. Which, from the looks of it, he done been in therapy for a minute, right? So, and from the conversation that he had with Dr. Reed, and from what he said to Dr. Reed, look, I hear you. He, basically he said, look, Dr. Reed, I hear you and I understand what you're saying. And he was like, look, man, I get so mad. He was like, when I get mad, I get really mad. And Dr. Reed was like, look, I understand. He was like, I get that. I understand being angry. He was like, and again, once again, Dr. Reed validated him. He was like, I understand anger. He was like, and there's nothing wrong with being angry. He was like, as long as you don't, he was like, as long as you don't, he was like, as long as you don't forget he was like, as long as you don't forget where you've come from, and as long as you don't allow your emotions to get the best of you, there's nothing wrong with being angry. And to be honest, what Dr. Reed said is actually biblical. And if you don't know me, I'm a Christian girl. So I wouldn't be me if I didn't take it if I didn't take it biblical. Even the Bible says, be angry and sin not. Okay? So what Dr. Reed was saying ties into the Bible. Okay? So what Dr. Reed was saying was mental health related, and it was also Christian based. You can't go wrong with that. Okay? So Zach got some spiritual advice, and he also got some therapeutic advice all wrapped up in one. Just saying. And Dr. Reed was like, look, you're a grown man. You're going to do what you want to do. He was like, I know that you're going to do what you want to do at the end of the day. I I just wanted to come and make sure that you were good. Let me get a drink. And they drunk, and they got something to drink together, and they sat and they chilled and they kicked it. And there was that scene. And I appreciated that scene because sometimes you need that. And the fact that Zac can do that with his therapist, I appreciate that. And what we're seeing is Zac's tribe is shifting. It is. Now he has Preston in his corner that can drop $3 million on him. Now he has a therapist in his corner. I like it. Truly. I really do. I really do. So, as far as Bryce goes, I like the fact that Bryce gave Preston Zac's therapist, Dr. Reed's information. I don't really know how I feel because somebody did ask me this. I don't really know how I feel about Bryce doing that because it does still feel like Bryce is trying to force a friendship between him and Zac. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the episode a couple of more times before I give an opinion on it. But anyway, Deja had a party. So Fatima gets home, realizes that Deja had a party. And Angela was like, let me go over here and talk to her. And Fatima was like, please do, because if I go over there, it's gonna, I'm a pop off. Angela was like, I'm already knowing friend. Let me go over here and talk to her. Okay. And so Angela goes over there. She notices that the dude that she kicking it with is over there. Angela immediately gets mad and is like, oh, you kicking it with her? I can't rock with you no more. And so dude is like, what you mean? We not, me and you not even together. I can kick it with whoever I want to kick it with. Deja's like, man, stop playing. Stop playing. You like that. And so I was like, I actually can rock with Deja. I actually like Deja. I'm not gonna even lie. I like Deja. Deja's banter is funny. The only thing that I don't like about Deja is Deja pushes the button too much to see how far she can go. Which is, she need to quit that. And to be honest with you, Zac honestly can go on ahead and just release her from the lease. Go ahead and break a lease. Cause what she's still doing there for? Deja has done more than enough. And I mean more than enough to not even be a tenant no more. Deja done more than enough to not even be a tenant at the doggone Taylor Enterprises or whatever, or LLC, whatever freaking Taylor Enterprise LLC, whatever it is he called himself, Rise Venture LLC. I don't know what he called himself. Whatever it is he called himself, Deja don't need to be a tenant next door no more. Because she has done way. I don't care what Valerie say. I don't care what Bryce say. He worried about being sued because of her being an exotic dancer. Okay, you got he claimed he got enough money now. Get yourself out of it. Anyway. So Angela was like, look, you need to get all these people out of here before Fatima come over here. And so Deja was talking noise, and she was like, I don't care. Tell the girl, I don't care. Tell Fatima to come over here. I'm not scared of her. And so And so Angela was like, okay, you might not be scared of her, but what about if her cousin Madam come over here? She was like, I ain't scared of her either. She was like, I ain't scared of her either. And then it's also gonna take her too long to get over here. So as soon as she said that, Fatima pulls up. And Fatima pulls up. And so Deja said no dogs allowed or something like that. Fatima gets mad. Fatima basically trashes the spot, throws cake everywhere. It was like, call me a B one more time. Now, I will say I expected more from Fatima. And let me tell you what I mean by that. It didn't give, and I guess because Fatima is trying to change and she doesn't want to physically harm anybody, I guess that's why she trashed everything the way that she did. Because, and y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Her trashing everything, that's what I didn't like. And of course her being pregnant, right? So y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Her being pregnant and her trying to change and being in her soft girl era and stuff like that. Are those the factors as to why she trashed the spot? Because that's what I'm talking about. I didn't like the trashing of Deja's spot too much. Because to me, the trashing of Deja's spot didn't give, oh, Fatima crazy. Fatima's scary. Her doing all of that gave Stalker X. It gave, to me, now I'm just talking about me. That gave her the throwing juice on the speaker and throwing cake all over the place and hitting the car with a baseball bat. All of that gave Stalker X, that gave Stalker X. That didn't give, oh, Fatima crazy. Let me not fool with her. You know what I'm saying? And again, I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. That gave Fatima had a rough day at work, or Fatima is venting. You know, Fatima is venting. She, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it gave what they tried to give. I don't know. I don't know. That should have been more so for Zac than Deja. And I really hope that I'm making sense. I really hope I'm making sense. And again, y'all please let me know what y'all think in the comments. If, like, say for instance, if Fatima called Zac if Fatima was pissed off at Zac about something and Zac did something, I could see Fatima doing that if she was pissed off at Zac, not because she was pissed off at Deja. Does that make sense? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. So, everybody ended up leaving or whatever, and of course, Deja's like, and I guess that's why Deja reacted the way that she did. Like, okay, Fatima, you made your point. Okay, girl. All right. Okay, Fatima, you made your point. Like Deja wasn't pressed. You know what I'm saying? Like Deja was not pressed at all. because of the stuff, because of the stuff that Fatima was doing. But anyway, so so Fatima gets home, Fatima gets back home, and Angela gets back home. And once again, I know that Fatima did not want to physically do any harm to nobody because she's pregnant. She's trying to change. But at the same time, everything that she's been asking Deja to do, everything that Zac's been asking Deja to do, Deja not listening. So I understand that factor. And Fatima is really trying to, look, I'm trying my best not to put my hands on you, but you're making it very difficult. So I get that. I understand that, right? And of course, all these other things at play too, right? I get it. I understand. I get it. But I'm just saying, I feel like if they wanted to make Fatima scary, they could have did something else. Anyway, so let's see what else happened. Anything else happened in that episode? I'm trying to think that anything else happened. I just go ahead and do both. I just go ahead and just talk about everything. All right. So Angela and Fatima get home. Angela and Fatima get home, and she was like, it's always, she was like, it's always some drama, and she was like, look, she was like, loving a man shouldn't be this hard. She was like, loving a man shouldn't be this hard. It's always some drama. And Angela was like, yeah. And she was like, yeah. She was like, yeah, it is always some drama. And, with you and with y'all having a baby on the way, it's about to be some more drama. And Fatima was like, yeah, I know, Angela, you don't have to remind me. And, she was like, yeah, I know. You don't have to remind me. And so Angela was like, yeah, she was like, yeah, but I'm just saying. And so some kind of way, I don't remember exactly the comment, but, I don't remember who said what, but I want to say that Angela took a shot first. I'm gonna have to go back and watch that scene. But y'all remind me in the comments. But Fatima was like, you always saying, but y'all always saying, but none of y'all have a man. And she basically told Angela that her door is a revolving door with all the men and stuff that she have. And Angela was basically like, well, I'd rather have, she was like, well, I'd rather have that than all the drama that y'all, she was like, I'd rather have that than all that drama that y'all have, basically I'd rather have that than all that drama and stuff that y'all got going on. And Fatima was like, look, sometimes I don't need you to say anything. Sometimes I just want you to just listen so I can hear myself think. And so basically Angela got up and left. Now, there's a whole lot of controversy about that, about that conversation. To be honest, I honestly get both sides of it. I personally think that Fatima needs to, if she wants to just vent, she needs to say that. Because in friendships, you need to say that. Preface it. Friend, I need to vent. When my friends be like, friend, I need to vent. I need to vent. I know I do that to my friends, and I've gotten to the point where I ask my friend, do you have the capacity for me? I ask my friend, do you have the capacity for me? And I'd be like, yeah, I'll say yes or no, do that with your friends, ask, hey, do you have the capacity for me right now? Because I don't want to just dump on you, and set, make we have to make sure that we're setting boundaries with our friends. So do that, ask your friend if you have the capacity, and say you need to vent. Don't just get the talking, and also ask, say I need some advice. That way your friend knows, okay, so she does want my input. Fatima, I think that Fatima needs to do that, because we see when Fatima in the next episode, when Fatima went to apologize to Angela, Angela said, I'm just I'm just listening. I'm not saying anything. I'm just listening. Like you said, I'm just listening. Fatima didn't want her to do that. Fatima didn't want her to listen. Fatima didn't want her to just listen. Fatima actually wanted her to say something. So, like I always say, Fatima can't have it both ways. Fatima say one thing, but then Fatima actually say one thing, but then, and she's actually said this. She said this to Zac, she'll actually have it in her head how she wants something to go. But then when it actually goes that way, it don't be how she had it in her head. And then she was like, oh, well, that ain't how I wanted it. That ain't how I wanted it to go. I don't think it's like that in just relationships. I think it's like that, period. Fatima actually, like, Fatima actually thinks, Fatima be actually wanting things to go a certain way in her head, and then she gets into the thick of it and be like, oh dang, never mind. Yeah, never mind. So, yeah. So, and and another thing that me and my friends was talking about. Again, shout out to Giovanna, Kate, my KD, and Courtney. But we were out talking, and we were out talking, and Angela turns her nose up at Zac, but she does the same. She do the same thing with Bryce, because lo and behold, she finna take Bryce back, because she didn't want Fatima to know that Bryce was over there. She didn't want Fatima to know that Bryce was over there. But she sure about to take Bryce back. And she's embarrassed that she loved Bryce, and she wants to forgive Bryce, and she wants to make it work with Bryce. She embarrassed by that. But anyway, so, oh, let me backtrack a little bit. Backtrack to episode 9. Zac came home from the therapy session, not the therapy session slash drink session or whatever, and he was like, oh, so you just gonna be mad? And Fatima was like, look, I don't like all of this. I don't like all this. And he was like, look, it is what it is. I did what I had to do, and I don't want to talk about it no more. And he was like, look, she was like, look, this is exactly why women don't tell their men nothing. And he was like, so my brother hits you, and you just expect me to just not do nothing about it, which I under which I get it. I understand that. Because he's coming from a place of, I'm supposed to be your protector. Somebody does something to you, and you just expect me to just sit on the sidelines and not do anything. But if we want to be honest, this blow up between Zac and Jeremiah was going to happen, even if Fatima wasn't in the picture. Zac honestly just needed a reason. He just needed a reason. That's all. He just needed a reason to go at Jeremiah, because they'd been fighting their whole lives. They've been fighting each other their whole lives. He just needed a reason. He needed a reason. He needed a reason. And Fatima was him going at Fatima was just the light to the fuse. You know? So, and Fatima said, look, I won't answer your calls. I won't write you. I won't come visit you. And Zac was like, yeah, okay. She said, oh, you think I'm playing? First of all, because y'all remember back in Sisters when Zac went to jail. When Zac went to jail, and Fatima wanted to sleep. And Fatima wanted to sleep at the jail. Child, please. And she was like, "Look, I'll break you." Fatima was like, "Look, I'll break you out this mug." They both know. They can't go 2 seconds without each other. Okay, so this is going to be interesting when he does get locked up. This is going to be very, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, but anyway. So anyway, Fatima left. She left and went to Angela's. She ended up spending the night at Angela's house. They ended up talking. She ended up apologizing, and she ended up apologizing to Angela, and now this conversation made me laugh, because she was like, Zac won't let this go. He won't let this go. He's so mad at Jeremiah, and he just don't think it. He won't let it go. And Angela just let her talk. And so she was like, but at the same time, if anybody mess with him, I'd be ready, I'd be on go too. And so and Angela's like, exactly. And so she was like, but I have more rationale. And Angela looked at her like, girl, what? No, you don't. You just trash Deja's spot. And see, that's the thing. Zac and Fatima are literally just alike. They are the same. They are mirrors. They are mirrors. And don't get me wrong, I love my girl. I love Fatima. I love Zac. But Fatima, you trash hating place. Now I know we can't merge two shows, but Zac went ham on Fatima, and he told her, which it was the truth. He told her, he was like, how is it that now I'm for one split second, I'm finna merge a show, okay? And he told her, he said, how is it that you get to put chicks' head through walls? People almost die. You get to do all of this stuff, but when I go off, I get berated like I'm a kid. And she was like, well, you have a record and I don't. That literally is the only difference between these two. The only difference is Fatima don't have a record and he does. Fatima have the means. Fatima's daddy used to be a judge. Fatima cousin got, connections and all of this stuff. And Zac don't. That literally is the only difference between Zac and Fatima. Other than that, these two literally mirror each other as far as their anger goes. As far as them, if we honest, they both bipolar. They both have manic episodes. There's no difference in the two. They both literally are the exact same. So, because Zac don't play about Fatima and Fatima don't play about Zac. She done been to jail for him. He done been to jail for her. That, I mean, they don't play about each other at all. At all. Period. So Angela was like, girl. So, and that's what Angela said. Angela was like, girl. Angela was like, girl. You talk about you got more rationale than he does. You just, girl, what did you look at what you just did today's your house. And so Fatima kind of, got quiet. She didn't really say nothing about that. And so she was like, I didn't really want to go home. I didn't want to go home or whatever. I wanted to spend the night. She was like, okay, I'll tell my dude to leave. And so and she was like, okay. And she was like, who is he? She was like, you don't know him. So Fatima ended up spending the night and ended up being Bryce. And so they left, and Zac actually really beat the mess out of Jeremiah. And he was like, you like hitting women, you want to beat up my wife. And so for like 1 second, it was about Fatima. After that, he started talking about, he was like, you killed my mother. You've been doing this to me since I was little. And all of this stuff. Like Zac raged on Jeremiah. And it took, he threw Connie off of him. He threw Nate off of him. He threw Tony off of him. And we got to see in real time what happens when you do not deal with childhood trauma, when you don't, yeah, it was crazy. However, Tony was like, look, man, let me get you home. This is when you got what this is. We also got to see what locked in for life really means. And as somebody who loves the arts, who loves theater, that scene honestly made me tear up. It made me tear up because Tony was like, come on, man, let me get you home. You could definitely tell the closeness between all of them. Like you could really tell that all of them really are locked in for real. And so Tony got Zac home. Connie and Nate was like, come on, like, Jeremiah, you good? Now, I will say Zac did a number on him, but they heard that ambulance coming, and they was like, because they were worried about, first of all, they didn't want Zac to go to jail, but it was a few things. Jeremiah knew what he did. Jeremiah knew what he did to Zac's woman. So Jeremiah didn't put up a fight back. And also, Nate and Connie got Jeremiah up, and they got him to the hospital. And the talk in the hospital that Connie had with Nate was very probably one of the realest conversations, because Connie was like, Nate was like, man, everything gonna be all right. We all family, man. Everything gonna be all right. Connie was like, Nate, we all grown, we all growing up. We all growing. Like Nate, I mean, not Nate, I'm sorry. Connie is like, everybody is evolving. Like everybody is evolving. Everybody is growing up. And Nate is stuck in, and if I'm honest, we all make a whole, we all make jokes about, Nate, you need to go home to your wife and your kids, which I agree he does. Nate definitely does need to go home to his wife and his kids. However, we sleep on the fact that Nate is a victim of the system as well. Nate was in and out of jail. Nate basically grew up with Zac. You know what I'm saying? He grew up with Zac. He grew up with Tony. He grew up with Connie. And Miss Gladys raised all of them. Okay? So there's a piece of him that doesn't want to, quote unquote, grow up, because if he grows, if he evolves, if he, thank you, Holy Spirit, if he grows, if he evolves, if he changes, if he grows into the man that he is meant to be, he will surpass Zac, Tony, Connie, everybody, and leave them behind. He doesn't want to do that. Because the Bible says you have to leave to cleave. You have to leave your family and cleave to your wife. Cleave to protect your wife. Cleave to your kids and stuff. And if he does that, he have to leave Zac, Tony, Connie. He have to leave old things and stuff behind. And if he does that, he's afraid of who he gonna be. He don't want to do that. That's why and that's also why he don't rock with Fatima like that. It's easier to just date randoms here and there. It's easier to date Belinda, and it's easy. It's easy. It's easier. So he was talking to Connie, and he was like, everything's gonna be all right. We family. We done bounced back before. We gonna bounce back again and stuff. And Connie was like, look, man, she holds him. Fatima holds him down, and he cut her off. He was like, no, man, why you always, why you bring Fatima up? She was like, look, man, she loves him. She loves him. She holds him down. We gotta respect that, and we gotta love her too. And so Nate was like, man, for you to say that, that's real. For you to say that, I gotta respect that. And he was like, what's up with you? And she was like, what's up with you and Belinda? What's up with you and Belinda? He was like, man, we just dating. He was like, yeah, nah, man, Belinda ain't the type to date. And she was like, where's, what about your wife? What about your kids? Why and she basically called him out on not being, being a present father, not being a present husband, to his family, because we sleep on the fact that Nate is a husband and a father, So she called him out on that. Next thing you know, we hear the code blue. I think it's code blue, code red, or whatever for Jeremiah. So they both panicking. They're both panicked or whatever. And let's see what else happened. Tony got Zac home, and he was, he fixed his hand up and stuff or whatever. And he was like, you feel better now? He's like, yeah, man, I feel better. He was like, look, man, I know you. I've been knowing you since we was kids, and I know you don't feel better. He was like, and to be honest, this honestly is probably one of the best moments that I've seen Tony be a good friend. Not saying that he wasn't a good friend before. I'm just saying that in this moment right here, when he had that one-on-one with Zac, that probably is the best time that I've seen him be a really good friend to Zac by himself. And season 3 is honestly really good character development for Tony. in my opinion. Acting wise and friendship wise for Tony, in my opinion. Look, man, he was like, look, I've been knowing you since we was kids. And he was like, look, man, you and Jeremiah, y'all do this all the time. He was like, but you were raging. That fight wasn't about Fatima. That wasn't about Fatima. He was like, and I'm so glad that Tony brought this up too. And I'm so glad, shout out to Tyler Perry for even bringing this in, because we always look at how Gladys and her doing drugs and stuff affected Zac. We never looked at how drugs and stuff affected Jeremiah. But he was like, and so Tony was like, have you ever asked yourself how pain affected him? And so Zac was like, yeah, man. He was like, yeah. He was like, I made the choice not to do it. And so Zac was like, yeah, you made the choice not to do it. But that's not everybody's story. He was like, nobody wakes up and says, yeah, I'm gonna start doing this today. He was like, everybody deals with pain differently, bro. And Zac was like, look, man, I don't want to talk about this no more. I just want to lay down, And so Tony realized that Zac didn't want to talk no more. And Tony was like, all right, man. And so they did the handshake, the locked in for life handshake. This was probably the the second time that they did the locked in for life handshake. And it made me get emotional because Zac said something when they did the handshake, and that was the first time that I realized what the handshake actually meant. I was like, oh dang, y'all are not finna make me emotional today. But yeah. So I know I'm missing something. But no, I think I covered everything. But it ended with Fatima coming home. No. Fatima came home. Deja was standing outside talking, Deja was standing outside, and Fatima was like, I ain't got time for your stuff. And she goes in the house and she calls Tony, and she was like, is this Jeremiah's blood and stuff? And Tony was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Zac comes downstairs and she was like, please don't tell me this is Jeremiah. Zac was acting all nonchalant about it. And he was like, look, I'm not talking about this. See, his behavior alone would have me like, you know what? You gonna sit there. I ain't helping you with Jack. I'm not getting you no lawyer, nothing. You gonna sit there. Get your own lawyer. Get your own lawyer. Matter of fact, you gonna get a court. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say will be used against you in the court of law. And if you can't afford an attorney, one will be appointed. You're gonna get a court-appointed lawyer. Since you wanna be childish, get your own lawyer. Call Dr. Reed to get you a lawyer. Shoot. Matter of fact, call Preston to get you a lawyer. Get your own lawyer. Call Karen to get you a lawyer. True. Matter of fact, start a GoFundMe to get you a lawyer. God dog it. Matter of fact, call Afterpay. Get you an Afterpay lawyer. Get something. Shoot. Don't call me. Don't call me for no lawyer. Don't call me for nothing. You gonna sit there. You gonna sit there. I'll be like Ronnie was. With Pernell in Minister Society. Y'all remember on Minister Society when she came to see him and she rolled her eye and she rolled her eye. Oh my God. Anyway, so it basically ended. The episode ended with him getting arrested. It ended with him getting arrested. Good day, sir. Cause nah, you are not finna have this nonchalant attitude with me. I don't want to talk about this. Okay, fine. Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there. Stay there and think about what. Stay there and think about what you did. Then stay there and think about what you did. But that was the episode. I am very curious to see when it's going to come back on, and I really do hope it comes back on before this year is out. Even though we got the rest of this month and we got next month. But anywho, that was it. I love y'all. I promise y'all, sisters is coming. It really is coming. I'm gonna do my best to get it. Let's see, 3 episodes. I can knock 3 episodes out tomorrow. But I love y'all. I love y'all so much. Thank y'all for rocking with me. And put some shows that I can review in the comments and let me know. Because I may want to review some more shows. But I love y'all. Have a good one.